Queensland-based Shake&Stir Theatre Company are riding a wave of success with their latest production of ENDGAME by Samuel Beckett. This is no piece of trashy theatre. It's garnering success and accolades right across the theatre circuit. In a moment, we'll talk to two of the stars, John McNeil and Jennifer Flowers, as they take us behind the scenes of ENDGAME.
1, 2, 3, and all is alright. And I hope that it's life.
So welcome to the program.
Thanks, Damien.
Thanks, Damien. Cheers.
It's great to see this show having such great success as well, especially for you two, because Jennifer, I believe you spend a lot of time in a bin.
We both have our own bins.
Separate bins, yes.
Yes, but it's quite comfortable. They've made it to, when they were first thinking about this, we got in and out and we were measured to deal with the comfortability of being there. I'm not there for very long, but John is, so It's not that arduous. They're quite big, the bins.
It paints the picture, though, because, I mean, Beckett's absurdist views on things certainly comes through in ENDGAME, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. We were talking with a group earlier before about the fact that the absurdism, the idea is to look at, just smash up life in a different way, and present something that is people living moment by moment in a bizarre world. And by looking at something that is absurd and strange and completely different, it just helps us readjust our own view of reality to a certain extent, which makes it all sound terribly grand, but it's also thoroughly entertaining. It's quite fun.
Yes.
You know, there's darkness in it, but I think Beckett, to a certain extent, was laughing at the misery. In fact, he says, you know, nothing is funnier than unhappiness.
When you look at it, I mean, Shake&Stir has put together a fantastic on-stage team and behind-the-scenes team for this, haven't they?
Yes, they have, and I think it's really commendable that such a young company, they're 10 this year, I think, are branching out and doing and offering work to senior actors and other people. But they are moving beyond the brief they started with, which was mainly schools productions, and I just think they're bold, and it's been a joy to work for them.
And of course, you've done so much in Queensland theatre yourself. It must be nice to see young companies coming through and having success.
Absolutely. I directed Leon when he was at university, at the University of Southern Queensland, when he was at drama school, and I cast both Ross and Nick in Romeo and Juliet when I did it for the QTC, and Nellie, the other artistic director, it was in the show I did at USQ too. So I've got this very strong background of them when they were very, very young, and now they've blossomed into developers and producers of their own work, which is really fantastic.
And of course, as you said, it gives you an opportunity to sink your teeth into something very different to the run-of-the-mill productions that are around.
It does, yes. It's lovely to do. I mean, and I think most actors like to do a variety of different things, a variety of different stage and screen as well. Anything that gives you a chance to present either a narrative or a different way of viewing the world, or something that you know is going to be a bit of a feast for the audience. But to work in this particular style of theatre is wonderful, with such great company, with these other wonderful actors, and Michael Fucci is a terrific director, and the Ross and Nick and Nellie, as Jennifer was saying, are just so wonderfully talented, so hard working, but they're lovely people as well. And I think a theatre company that has a group that works together a lot, they're people that respect each other and treat each other well, and people were falling over themselves to work for this company. I think I've greatly enjoyed it. It's the first time I've worked for them, and it's been absolutely delightful right from the get-go.
Well, of course, the reviews have been coming out, and I know you haven't had a chance to see them yet, but people are just raving about this production. It's got all the elements, the drama, the pathos, and also, of course, the comedy as well.
Yes, well, it's not for me to say the comedy, it's for the audience to laugh.
Come on, you can say it.
Well, it's nice when you get a laugh, that's true, that's true. It's a very different sort of laugh, you know, it's not a sort of slapsticky laugh. Beckett himself was very influenced by vaudeville and Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin, and so you can feel instances of that sort of joke making in the play. And there are some laughs that the audience gets, and that's always very gratifying.
Yeah, it's one of those shows that I guess in some ways you sit there feeling a little uneasy that you're watching into this private world, but you can't help yourself but look at it.
Yes, that's true. Actually, I see resonances of that in what they do with the mockumentary style of comedy now, with things like Parks and Rec or The Office or Veep or those sorts of things, where you just watch other people in an excruciating situation that in those previous cases are amusing. But in this one also lets us reflect on life a little bit too. There seems to be a cautionary tale element to some of what Beckett says. In other words, don't let your life degenerate to this. You know, be better than this. Move out of that. You know, and I always think routine, because of we were talking about the repetition of lines and the routines that they have, that they always do this and they get the ladder and they do that. And we get caught in routines as people. I do sometimes, and you think sometimes it's nice to break out of that and not be captured by them.
It'd be nice if we could actually do a Beckett and look at life differently a lot more often.
I suppose so.
Well, that's art. Yeah. That's the point of art, I think, is to do that. You know, I think we people used to like looking at a vase. You know, someone painted a vase and it was great because it looked like a vase. Well, how wonderful that is that it looks so much like the vase. Yes. And that's great, you know. But sometimes if you do something that's different and abstract and you take the reality and you just fracture it around a little bit and go, let's think about it in different ways and work it through. And I think that's one of the functions of art.
Yeah.
I once did an educational program on absurdism, and I had 2 actors to do it, and I was casting around trying to find some contemporary thing because I had to do it for the kids, and I came up with the idea of doing it Vladimir and Estragon from Waiting for Godot, a la George Costanza and Kramer from Seinfeld.
Wonderful.
And they really got it because it was about nothing, supposedly, and one of them played a Kramer type and one played Costanza, and it really worked. It really worked.
That's great.
Yeah, it's amazing when you put something like this, which are classics, into the modern world, just how much people do get them.
Well, you have to sort of appeal. You have to actually reach out to young kids and sort of give them some hook, I think, so that they can feel that it's relatable to them. Yeah.
Well, that was a good call, putting Godot and Seinfeld together.
Yes, it was fun. Yeah, it just came to me. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that because I remember Tim Daly, the playwright in Sydney, friend Tim. Tim was saying how he thinks that Seinfeld, those characters have got a little bit of a Chekhov classic character to them too, where they're people standing in a room going, "Oh, look how miserable my life is." This terrible thing is that none of them are listening to each other, but they're all having a bit of a whinge, and that's quite funny to watch them in their sort of comical, self-indulgent misery.
Yeah. Well, we certainly won't be having a miserable time at the theatre when we come along and see this show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for your interest. We're very proud of it and hope people do come
Thank you
along.
very much.
Running down the street, say bye or say hello. Bright lights, we're running in the night.
ENDGAME is now playing in the intimate Cremorne Theatre Space at the Queensland Performing Arts Centre until August 20. Book your tickets right now on qpack.com.au or call QTix 136 246 for ENDGAME by Shake&Stir Theatre Company.